Hi, Greg Parsley, Superintendent for the Vincennes Community School Corporation. Provide some updates on a couple different things. I will start with our makeup day. As you all know, we had to cancel due to weather last Thursday, January 28th. We have built-in makeup days as a part of our calendar. However, our board approved well over a year ago a policy for makeup days, and essentially it is an e-learning policy which all schools have. But ours is a little different, and we are prepared to implement it. So our makeup day for last Thursday will be Saturday, February 13th. Now, before you start to pick up the phone and call the superintendent's office or anywhere else, hear me out and let me explain how that policy actually works. Saturday, February 13th is simply used for attendance purposes. Teachers will post assignments for our students on the Friday before or Friday, February 12th. They have to have those assignments posted by 3 p.m. or K through 2. Students will have packets just like we've always done. Students have 3 school days to complete those assignments, so technically would have Monday the 15th through Wednesday the 17th, but a student could choose, if they wanted to work on their assignments over the weekend, could technically have 5 days. None of our students, none of our staff will be in the buildings, although we oftentimes have staff that choose to work on Saturdays, but that's not a requirement, it's an expectation. All we are using Saturday, February 13th for is we have to have an attendance day, and we're using that. Students will have to complete a attendance quiz, but they can do that over the course of whether it's the 15th, 16th, or 17th. Assignments cannot be any longer in length than 30 minutes, or at least a child or student should not be spending any more on a class or a subject than 30 minutes. And that will suffice as our makeup. I cannot guarantee that we will utilize that for all of our days. I mean, if we get into more inclement weather, but it's an opportunity for us to at least implement this policy and see how it works. And I will be honest, part of the hesitancy has been I've not had a comfort with e-learning, and I think, when we reflect back to last spring and trying to kind of perfect more on things and do a better job, well, I've certainly seen where our teachers and students have been able to carry that out throughout this current school year. So we will implement this policy and go from there. So Saturday, February 13th is the makeup day from last Thursday, but we are not expecting students and staff to actually be working. It's counting that day as an attendance day. Let me shift gears to COVID. As we are doing this video, we are sitting at 5 active cases. I can say that it has been a relatively smooth return second semester. We continue to know we're going to deal with COVID, and we're going to deal with COVID for a while. But it has been large part smooth sailing since we have returned, and it's quite frankly feels as good as it can when it comes to what is the present new normalcy. There were some things that came out yesterday from the state that caught schools off guard from the governor's weekly presser, in addition to more so some things that came from Dr. Box yesterday in some comments with regard to schools, stated where schools could relax with some things. Some of that included the social distancing, also the quarantining. And in conversation this afternoon with our hospital and the Knox County Health Department, we do not believe that that's probably good practice. We certainly realize for some of those schools that have yet to reopen, and everybody's situation is different, but for the Knox County schools, as all of us participated in that meeting this afternoon, we believe that we need to continue to hold to the practices that we have, because they have kept us in person, in session, and we believe that is our ticket to get us to the end of the school year. So we're not planning to implement those things. Those are simply guidelines that were given to us. And we appreciate any time that we can get those guidelines, but we'll continue to adhere. I'm going to talk about quarantining. want to give a huge shout out to our boys varsity basketball team. Unfortunately, as a result of coming in as a close contact to a team that they played last weekend, our boys varsity basketball team is in quarantine, but they made the decision, and it was a unanimous decision as they took a vote, that they wanted the younger kids to go ahead and continue and basically step up into the varsity role, and so that we could continue to play a varsity schedule and a junior varsity. And that took tremendous courage, and quite frankly, not only does it show the meaning of a team, but it showed a lot of integrity by those varsity basketball players that said, use this as an opportunity to let some others. So kudos to Coach Myers and those boys, so that we can continue with the basketball team at the varsity level. I don't know that the record is really reflective of who they are as young men, and quite frankly, I know the record is not, as they are tremendous young men and showed a lot of maturity with that decision. We will also continue to go on with a homecoming. We're just not going to do that on Friday, February 12th. Instead, we will do that on Saturday, February 13th, so that we can get those boys back for that. And we'll have opportunities where that's streamed, and we will promote that as that date gets closer. I want to give a shout out to all of our extracurriculars in general. This is girls sectional week for basketball. We've got wrestlers in the regional. We've got swim sectionals coming up. We finished up a very successful middle school season. I know we've still got some teams playing there, but doing the things that we need to do have allowed us to be able to continue. Now, I talked about relaxation. There are some things with our extracurricular events that we have gradually been able to relax upon. Getting our cheerleaders to dance. We've been able to purchase the sleeves for band instruments as we're working to get the pep band to our boys basketball games. Getting grandparents to some high school events. Those types of things, and hopefully if we can continue to do the things that we need to, and that includes, staying with your family units, that social distancing, the masking up, that hopefully we can continue to relax. But I thank our students for all that they are doing, because the things that they are doing allow us to gradually let up with some of those things. So with that, I will just simply leave it as appreciation to all of you, to all of our students, and we'll continue to push on.